just found this field of sunflowers and going to the garage. Could be useful, a nice place to paint. We'll have a closer look. Beautiful. Could get right in here. Got a post in the foreground. I think I might come here and paint this one. Well, I've got this lovely view to paint today. Sun's bright and strong, but I'm going to do a vertical, which I know is not quite so good for you, but it's more unusual for me and I can fit this composition in better. So I'll do what I can for you to see what I'm doing. Again, pastel and water. So I'll start again by just drawing it out, and this time I want quite a large foreground of larger flowers here going back into the distance. That's why I've chosen this spot. It'd be so nice to be able to sit down sometime, but I've got to stand up again because I can't see across this field if I don't. But let's just take a look at this composition. It's quite a nice and unusual one. A nice big one here at an angle. Let's see how bright we can get these with the water. You don't want to lose that vibrancy. So it's really a lovely yellow, isn't it, that? Nice and clean and bright as my base coat. So I should be able to really get some lovely colour going over this. It's almost transparent. And that will dry fixed, like I did with the poppies and that last one, but this is slightly different in that I'm going to have a much larger and more detailed foreground with these sunflowers close to me here. The bee buzzing around me there, thinking that my yellow was flowers. Or my blue t-shirt, I think it was the flowers and not me. Right, there's my base coat for that. Straight into my sky next. Quite a strong turquoise here, and work that in as a base coat again. And again I put masking tape on to the size of my mount for later. Put just down to those trees into the distance there. And let's get water onto that as a base coat. Let that dry off before I put more colour on top. In the meantime, I'm going to come in with a deeper blue up into here and just form these trees. Now at this stage, because it's wet, I can still work darker pastel in. Now, see, I've lost that there then, but I'll bring that back again. Blue's happening there. Go darker yet into those. Right, this is drying off now, so in this sort of heat I can already start to get texture with the brush, and I can start to bring the light sky back up into there. So let's have a look at that sky now, and I want to look at how pink it is back there. There we are, it's sort of a grey blue going back there for the minute. Bring more over that in just a moment, and I'll bring that grey blue into those trees. And this now is going to be pure pastel from now on. Bring that right through, letting the blue glow through in the background. That cool blue can glow through there. I can start to bring some even cooler just into that. And then I want some much warmer blue. The only thing is though that I can't go too warm with this, or it'll got to mix them again to get it to blend to the right blue. So right up to the edge there with this lovely warm soft blue. Bring that down into there. Get this beautiful feeling of the heat here. And then over that, like I did last time, very light tinting of pink. Little bits of cloud wisping through here in pink. Lovely colours, just wisping up behind the trees, behind here. We've got the sky in the distance just about sorted then. Just little tickles with the end of the pastel. Forget the feeling. Non, c'est bien. J'ai un chapeau aussi. Je peins en vite, 1 heure, 2 heures, je suis fini.
Vous pouvez peindre en plein soleil comme ça?
Oui, en plein air. Right, so you can see we're just getting to hint at these bits of colour in the background, and some of them are slightly cooler, so we'll take a little bit of turquoise here to get some of the cools in too. Just play those against those warms up into the sky there, and it helps to, so rough against smooth, warm against cool, and we get this lovely feeling of real light. Because we're painting not with pastels, we're painting with light. Forget what you're using at times, because we're actually painting with light here, I think. Now a little bit of orange into some of those down here, a little bit of a fraction of warmth just into those trees, just a little more than and that'll make the greens seem slightly bluer. A bit more sunshine going on across them, there we are. Now then, down into here, and we need to paint in the greens in between here, and I think again what I want to do is the turquoise. I need a lovely turquoise going on down here for all of these, and then I can put any yellows on top afterwards. So I'm going to make the whole of this a turquoise for the leaves and then put the darks in between afterwards. So I'm not going to put all the darks in, I'm going to put a mid-tone in here in between. Use the side of the pastel. This is why I take off the paper from my pastels, because I like to be able to use the side of the pastels. You start getting itsy bitsy if you don't. You leave the paper on, you'll be just using the end of the pastel. You need to be able to use the whole of the pastel whenever you want to. It's a very quick way to work, but a very effective and lovely way to work. I might have to go get my hat because it's going to get a bit hot on my neck otherwise. But I just get the feeling this is a hot press paper again, even though it's slightly not actually. It's not the artist this time. I'm using a Bockingford, and it's hat on and straight back into the painting. And now, again with the brush, let's wet this pastel down as a base coat, and I can start putting other colours back in, and I can start to actually draw into this and actually make the petals now. And it will be very difficult with the pastels themselves to get this sort of fineness. So it's another reason for enjoying this method. And of course I can go darker and put darker colours in here yet, which I shall do as we go on. It's just a primary coat. I can mix these colours together to make the greens by mixing the blues and the yellows together on here. Well, it's time to start going a bit darker now, and I can start adding some deeper yellows as well as lighter yellows, just to see, now that this is dry enough, If I can come back over here with any of these yellows, which I can, look. Right, at this stage I think we're back in with the brush again. I'm going to find somewhere to put my pastel, and we can just try and get this texturing of how these purples work against the yellows being the opposites in the colour circle. Nice to do a vertical one again. I know it's more difficult for you to see it because it's not full screen this way, but it's nice for me to do it. So I shall keep experimenting and exploring, trying these different methods out. Here I've painted the lights first, and now I'm going into midtones and darks, and then I'm coming back with the lights again into it. There's masses of them around here. Must be because there's a farm and they're eating all the grain that gets left lying around. Let's look for other colours. So coming down in these leaves we've got some quite light. Look how this dark warm really works against the other cooler warmth I put on already in giving me the depth to these sunflowers. Really, because if we play more purple against the yellows, it's got to work. Go back to the cools to make the warms look warmer. So if I take some of my ultramarine blue again, which I'm very fond of, and just start to add that into the equation, I'm pretty surprised how it'll bring these colours out. It takes one or two of the right marks to finish a painting like this, and it's just getting those few right ones just to finish off. Well, another experiment, and still not my best one by any means. Keep working at them until I'm happy. If I get one that I really like, I'll probably go and sell it or something silly. There we go, I think that's about caught it, as best as I'm going to. I think that's going to have to do. I don't think I'm going to do much more. What am I going to sign it with? What colour? Perhaps that should be a yellow. Nice cheerful little piece, but I'm not where I want to go yet. Well, there we go, a nice cheerful piece again, and I'm not unhappy with it, but it's not where I want to get yet. I still want much more vibrance and colour, and I'm going to have to do a good few yet to get there, aren't I? And maybe I've got to play with my acrylics as well yet. I'm really getting, okay, this time of day, but I want to get much more vibrance and looseness in this work yet. So on we go. There's that tree in the distance, and there's our composition there, and there's our composition. But